منذ ستينيات القرن الماضي تنادى مجموعة من المسلمين القادمين من الهند للعناية بمجتمعهم وبناء حاضنة تحفظ عليهم دينهم وتنير لهم طريقهم. وقد أفلح القوم بتسميته مسجد الفلاح، فكان اسما على مسمى ومئذنة جديدة من نور على نور. هناك في برمنغهام يشد نظرك مسجد الفلاح ويدعوك لتلبي نداء حي على الفلاح، نداء الصلاة ومحراب العبادة، ولا أجمل ولا أطهر.
They came in 1969 and they realized quickly that their children were with them and they didn't have a place where they could educate the kids with Islamic education. So that was the first basic foundation of our organization here, of the masjid. The masjid, ironically, came last. So the first thing that they came up was a place where they could teach the kids Quran, Islamic studies, the seerah of Prophet ﷺ, and basic rituals of how we should be doing following Islam. That's the first thing. Then followed after that was if someone dies, what do we do for janazah, for burials? There was janazah in 1970-ish, 1771, and they had to do something about this. So they quickly realized they need to have a space or a place or a facility for them to bury the dead. And then after that, of course, came marriages. So nikah. So that's something they had to think about. How are they going to do marriages in the country?
We are of a community named Cockney. Some people say Konkani. And we originate originally from India. So the district being Maharashtra by Bombay and the surrounding area there, it's very hilly and so on, and therefore the name Konkani means hilly area, and that's where we originate from.
So around about 2008, we decided there was a place here which was a Jehovah's Witness church. This place was. So we then raised that place down, completely demolished it, and we started building up. Alhamdulillah, with the support of the local community, 90% of the money that we raised was based on the community here. We never stopped our masjid project for money or for planning. We never Alhamdulillah, we carried on with the will of Allah. We carried on and carried on and carried on till we reached our goal, alhamdulillah. While we were doing the masjid up, at a few times we were short of money, okay? And we continued the work. So some people gave in Qarz al-Hasana. They said, okay, let's carry on the work. But it came a point we were really stuck. And remember, it was really cold winter's evening in December, during the holidays of kids. Me and colleagues of ours of the construction team were sat upstairs. It was bitter cold. It was snowing it down. And there's a dear brother of ours who was a big businessman around here in Birmingham. He was passing by. And he's helped in the past, and he called our president then and said to him, oh, the masjid lights are on, it seems, are you guys okay? It's like, and we were having a massive argument upstairs, right? What tiles and what about this, what about money? And we were having this is late night, 11 o'clock, 11:30, 12 o'clock, and a bitter cold day. So he called the president and said, is everything okay? He said, well, we're talking about the construction of the masjid. And he says, okay, what's the shortfall at this minute? He said, we're falling short about 25,000, 30,000 pounds or something like that. At that point, that's the need. That was a Sunday. On the Monday morning, we get a call from his office, and he signed us 40,000 pounds. Wallahi, just like that. And he says, here you go, this is the need for you. And he saw the passion that the team had put. This is, as I said, a bitter, cold December Sunday evening, and we sat there, and alhamdulillah, it's qadr of Allah. We are nobody, but it's qadr of Allah that the man had to pass that time. Allah gave in his heart to say, I am going to help these people today. And alhamdulillah, the next morning, call from his office, khalas, all 40,000 pounds done. So the pandemic hit us 2 years ago. And on March 21st, I think it was 2020, when we decided that the masjid will have to be closed for salah. Now, this was a very difficult time for us. And I remember making the announcement on a Friday here that this is the last Friday till future, we don't know. we all were crying, wallahi. We were in the first stuff and we could not believe that our masjid is going to be closed for salah. But what I didn't want to do is I didn't want to send a message out to the community about being, khalas, this is finished now. I wanted to somehow make sure that the community still feels that the masjid is part for them and we are part for the masjid as well. So that's part of the process. So we came up with a process, a tagline at that point saying, we are closed for congregation, but not for community. And we went out there. We started knocking on people's door. We asked them, how can we help you? How can we help you? So our masjid in those days, we were allowed to do 5 times salah. So we would open the masjid and we'll close the masjid after 5 times. But we went out there to ask people, how can we help you? How can we help the community? The second element was about emotional well-being, about mental well-being, about people understanding how those days of being alone for days and days would affect them actually, right? So there are 2 elements. So we had a team that would go and speak to these people, whether it's a phone call, whether it's Zoom, whether it's Teams, whether it is going and staying outside the house and just talking from a distance. How are you? What's going on? Can I help you with something? Can I get you a prescription? Can I get you anything that you need? So many times all they wanted was someone to speak to them. Someone to speak to them for those 10 minutes or so. And that meant a world for them. They haven't seen anybody for 2 or 3 days actually. We asked people if they wanted food. So I remember the first day, we asked people to send us food. And say, okay, we are starting a food process for helping people here. Can we do something? So people say, okay, here's a bit from me, here's a bit from me, here's a bit from me. And then we asked people who needs food. So someone said, oh, this person needs food. So we would go and give them food. Or that person, their family has got COVID. Can you go and give some food? Okay, we started giving food. Or this doctor here is a doctor. His kids are at home because he's 24/7 in the hospital. The wife's actually working as a nurse. Can you help this family? So we go and help them. We go and help people in the hospital. And before we knew it, that 1 and 2 parcels a day, we were delivering an average 70 food parcels a day in one single day. And one day, I remember when we were at peak, we delivered 107 food parcels in one single day. Now don't forget that this food parcel does not mean just here go a bit of rice and bit. This is a food parcel for a week of people, of a family of 4. So we had to procure the money or procure the items to pack them up, to make sure it's all correctly done, ask people to come here to take it up and deliver it to home. So now we're coming here, but we were delivering this 107 parcels to people's houses. 3 pillars of Masjid Falah are masjid, outreach and relief. So there are 3 elements to this. The masjid is all the activities in the masjid, right? The dawah, the education, the scouts, the program, the karate, everything. The outreach is what we do with the food bank, with the homeless feed, with the homeless shelter, which I'll talk to you about as well, with autism, and cancer support, with domestic abuse support we give. All that is an outreach. And there's a relief bit of that. Relief bit is our projects that we do abroad, okay? And we do 2 basic projects abroad. One of them which is very close to our hearts, is of Palestine. As you know, you're in the masjid, and I know many people don't believe in having a specific sect or akida and stuff, but most of our people who come here for salah are from a Shafi background. Imam al-Shafi, rahmatullah, was from Gaza, from Palestine. So we are very close to Palestine in our hearts here actually. So what we have done is that our pet projects has been in Jerusalem. So we have helped to build a girls and a boys orphanage in the heart of Jerusalem. And apart from that, there's a famous hospital in Jerusalem called Al-Maqasid Hospital. It's a Maqasid Hospital is one of the major or the only big governmental hospital that they have in Jerusalem. What we have done over the past 2 years is to help and build an ICU unit in the pediatric center of that hospital.
This masjid and this community has been at the forefront of delivering services to the needs of the people. So those who were isolating, those who had COVID, we had like all the different food bank we started here about 2 years ago, and we've delivered over 10,000 food packets from the masjid to those who are needy, those who are self-isolating, and that continues to this day, although alhamdulillah, shukr to Allah that the pandemic is slightly on the decline.
We want to build a community that actually feels part of this country here in Britain, but also with the understanding of Islam that actually underpins our foundation for everything we do here.